So I think what we're going to do is probably rip these floorboards up. We'll insulate between, as long as the timbers aren't completely rotten, as long as the timbers aren't completely rotten, as long as the timbers aren't completely rotten. Okay, good morning. Here we are on episode 2 of what has quite quickly, unfortunately for us, become a 3-part series because we've had some problems on house build with a twist. So before we go in the house, we have had to now call in Uncle Trev. We were going to do the patio at the back, but unfortunately there's a lot more work to do in the house now, and time still on that unrealistic time frame to get it done. So it means that me and Wayne have got to concentrate all efforts in the house. Uncle Trev's going to have to bail us out with the patio. Spin round. Okay, so the last time we were here, Lincoln and Clayton, they got rid of all this old rotten decking pad. That's now gone. It has revealed a concrete slab that we've got, which is not overly nice and not level either, but I'm assuming there was an old outbuilding or something in that corner which was taken down and the original concrete base has remained. Now, rather than rip that up and get rid of it, I've decided to use that as a hard standing base to put a patio area on. So this is south facing at the back here, so it's catching all the sun all day. So I just thought, well, it's a shame really to put it all back to grass. We might as well use or reuse some of the Indian stone that I've got left of the original house that we were living in. And we can relay that there. So Uncle Trev's going to come and relay that, and then he's going to put us a path through this to pretty much where you guys are standing now on the existing block paving. So that'll finish the outside off nicely. We're going to keep the grass because that's what she wanted. And like I say, we'll have this nice patio area, barbecue, seating area, whatever you want, or whatever she wants, should I say, up there. Problems in the house though have not been ideal. Let's go have a look. So inside the house, last time we were here, we obviously ripped the kitchen out. We've ripped all the laminate flooring up, everything is gone, and it has revealed a few problems in this area. Now we knew there was a bit of damp behind the kitchen, so we're going to rectify that. That's the render outside that's causing that. But while we've got it out, we've managed to salvage the oven and the hob, which we're going to reuse in the new kitchen just to save a bit of money. At the same time, we've ripped this little bit of wall out, but it has revealed that the floors are all quarry tile effectively on soil, and the 2 levels that we've got between the diner and the kitchen are different and out. So that has meant that we've had to call in House of Carpets from Market Drayton. They're coming out and they're going to do this liquid DPM to stop any damp, and at the same time they're going to level the floors up. So then once all that is through and level, what we can then do is look at getting the kitchen in. So I'm not sure how we're going to do that yet, whether I'm just going to go buy all the gear and we'll come and fit it, or whether we'll get Howdens in again to come and measure up first. But ultimately the first job is we've got to get this through level and all the damp sorted. Speaking of damp, so this wall here, there appeared to be a small patch of damp over in this corner. Unfortunately, as we touched the plaster, it fell off to about here, and then we had to strip a whole wall off. So we've had Michael not in now, and he has come and done the damp course through, or the damp work, should I say, through. So obviously this has all gone on, that's continued through there, and it is going to have to probably continue into the living room because I think we've still got some damp round the chimney breast. But we're investigating that as we speak. So the idea now is, now that all of this is on, this is to prevent the damp coming through, and then we can dot and dab over the top of this, is that liquid floor will go on, that liquid DPM floor will go on and seal basically that. So there should be no damp ingress whatsoever able to come through. So that will sort that, but it does mean that Mr. Kappa's got a little bit more work because he's got to come and plaster me this wall, as well as a few touching up bits around the kitchen when we're done. Luckily for us, the upstairs of the house has been actually okay. We've decided to keep the bathroom suite, give it a good clean. The tiling we're going to keep. We're just going to redo all the flooring and redecorate the entire upstairs, new carpets and everything throughout. As I said before, my gut instinct was that the boiler that we had was not ideal, so we were going to have a new one. So Nick has been out and put us a new boiler in, so that's all done, dusted now. Everything is piped up. We've now got the heating back on, with the exception in the living room because we've got more problems in there, but that has just brought everything up to temperature. And where I thought there was a bit of damp upstairs, or maybe water ingress from the roof, not through signs of seeing anything on the ceilings, it was just damp and mouldy. It's clearly because there's been no heating on for quite some time. But living room, different story. To start with, we'd got these 2 radiators on here which we didn't want to keep. Then we noticed that them 2 radiators had got a slight little weep on one of the pipes coming in. So what we did first and foremost, in the existing floor, we cut a circle hole and we had a look in, and then Wayne turned into an Eskimo and dropped his fishing rod through the circle hole, thinking that he'd catch something, because underneath here was literally like a pond. So that meant the whole floor had got to come up, but before we went to take it up, we then realised that where the radiators have been leaking for the last 100 years by the looks of it, it has rotted all the timbers joists off of the floor where they went into or pocketed into the wall. So that had meant that the floating floor, what this is called, because the original ground is still there underneath, and then you require this air gap underneath so that the air circulates through the vents in the brickwork on the outside of the building to stop that dry or obviously wet rot happening. Then they were blocked, and as it turns out, under here was just like a swimming pool. We ripped all of the flooring up, we then ripped all of the floor joists up, and that has meant that we've got to put a new floating floor in. So my idea of it being quite a simple job to do before has obviously become a lot more in depth now. So we're just in the midst now, we've got the timbers in, we're about to start putting the last bits of the noggins in between the joints. We've got to just pack it, just fine tune it a little bit to get the levels, because the original floor, I think the skirting had then been put to that. So what we've started to notice now is as we put our floor in level, we've got to redo parts of the skirting, because the skirting effectively run with the old floor out of level. So we've got to redo that as well, so there'll be a bit of patching up and sorting out to do in here, but once we've got that done, we can then put the floorboarding through, and then we're obviously going to carpet this with an underlay on afterwards. But this has sort of added quite a bit of time then to the job, which is why we've had to start bringing in everybody else to start helping us out, because we've got to get it done in time. And then regarding them two radiators, they will now go, we're not having them back. The pipes that run under the floor here, they come from the other side of the wall. Well, the rest of the heating in the house, like I say, is on. We capped these pipes off just when we took them radiators off, and we're going to put a new rad on that wall behind us there. So that will be this room then finished. So for episode 2, what should have been the final episode of House Build with a Twist, that is it for this week. If you like what you've seen, hit subscribe, ring the bell, and we'll leave you with a beast of a depressing montage with loads of work to do that we didn't think we were going to have to do. Side note, actually, when you are fitting this sort of flooring, we don't use fixings anymore, we use this here glue. Now this glue, I didn't realise, but I think, I might be wrong, but I'm pretty certain it's James Critterford's own brand of glue. Now this is what we use, it's Ultimate Performance, which is not like James. It's expanding, so it says on here, expands to fill gaps. And I think James has designed this glue off the back of buying a 40-inch pair of trousers and obviously filling them accordingly. So that's where it's come from, and obviously a picture of James on the front, or this picture. But the other thing, the reason we use it, and a top tip for you DIYers out there, is a bit like James, he's designed it with this little bit of tape around the top. And the reason is, every time we talk about food, James starts dribbling. And that's where he's come up with this idea. So as this bottle keeps dribbling all the time, that little bit of tape is a top tip to catch all them dribbles and not get a mess on your floor. Thanks, James.